Round the Wreck, just flying in from New York, where he's been attending the World Series. Steve Masters, CEO of Sylacauga Parks and Rec. Steve, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
And well, hope you are. A lot of action and activities and a flurry of fun going on with the Parks and Rec. What's going on?
We've been super busy. Hunter Kane, they're finishing up our fall sports. We had football last night. We got hosting district soccer this weekend. We'll have about 16, 18 teams in town playing district soccer.
So what does that mean to Sylacauga?
It's a wonderful thing. I mean, 16 soccer teams, 11 on the team, plus parents and kids. So hopefully your restaurants and everything will be full that morning. We got 3 teams going to state in enterprise and volleyball. We fully expect to bring a trophy home from that. And then, it's just everything's going on. And then the fall festival. We thought that was going to be a big deal.
Wow.
But to have a line with 60 people past the county building for 2.5 hours, that was a wonderful, wonderful event. So Lauren did a great job.
Yeah, and a lot of credit goes out to a lot of people for that.
Absolutely. As you know, Lauren's our special event coordinator. This was her brainchild. She got the other 30 vendors who showed up and gave candy away. Obviously, you can't do it without the local businesses. And Hunter's running sports. Chris is working on the new playground they're starting on in 2 weeks. We got a gospel singing this Saturday at the Parks and Rec. So we're hopping right now. Busy time for us.
No doubt about it. And, it takes all hands on deck. Can't do it by yourself. And you just mentioned some of it, but there's a lot more behind the scenes.
Absolutely. We've got the people that help maintain our parks and everything, and Chris is kind of over them. Miss Pam Garrett's kind of our work mom. She handles all of our finances, but she also schedules everything and makes sure we're where we need to be. And, I think it's funny. Every morning when I leave the gym, Mom says, "What do you got to do today?" And I was like, "Whatever they tell me when I get there." Because, my job's to get the people in the right place and support them. And I get to work, and obviously I have stuff I have to do. Mm-hmm. But every day it's a little bit of, okay, who can I go help today? So
I want to talk about the parks. And, I go by there every morning and I say, well, there's nothing out here. But there's something coming, though.
Are you talking about the new rec center?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're having discussions.
No, I'm talking about the parks right there on
the new playground.
Yeah, the playground.
The new playground. So they are supposed to start, the original schedule is the first week of November, which is next week. Mm-hmm. I haven't heard otherwise. Last time I talked to them, which was about 2 weeks ago, they're on schedule. When they come in, they're about 10 days from start to finish on this playground. It's going to be amazing. Sylacauga doesn't have a playground anything like this. Everything on this playground is adaptive, not only for physical, but for, mental disabilities. There's going to be things that are interactive on there that you can easily access. We're doing away with the rubber tire mulch, which I've never been a fan of. Everything's going to be turf with low curbs, handicap accessible. Really, this was something I was interested in, but Chris Blackman was the primary driver on this type of playground. Chris has a stepson who's autistic, and we had visited other things. We ended up going to a conference in Montgomery. We applied and received a grant that helped pay for about $200,000 of this.
That's not bad.
Playground. So when I say it's going to be amazing how great this thing is, we're super, super excited about it.
So what's some of the parts of the puzzle that's going to be at the park?
So as you know, we used to have a real big, thick concrete slab, and then they had this really thin rubber on there, and you had, I call them fast food playgrounds. Like it's just one little thing with things coming off of it. This thing's going to be sprawled out probably 3 times the footprint of the original playground. You're going to have one big area that's really wide, it's ramped, it's handicap accessible. Every slide and thing is on there is transferable. So, if you're out there, with help, you can make sure people can use all the amenities on this. It's going to have a big rocker. It looks kind of like a ship, but think of it as a glider. And I mean, it's big enough for 5 or 6 kids to just sit on it and have fun, or it's big enough for 2 to 3 wheelchairs to get on there and use it as well. And then you'll have that playground goes from about 14 to about 6. And then within the same footprint, but to the side, you're going to have the younger age playground. You know, we're talking from toddlers on up to 5 or 6 years old. We're going to have the spinning thing over there in the back like the old wheel, but now they're ground level. So you know, back in the day when you was the young brother and they spun you around on that thing and you went flying, obviously it's safer, it has a clutch in it so it can't do stuff like that. But this playground would go from serving 12 to 15 people at one time to 30 to 40 people at one time.
So is this going to be something that the park can rent out for events and stuff like that, for parties, or is it just open to the public?
This is paid for with your tax money. This is obviously open to the public. As you know, we rent pavilions. You know, that's one of our business models. And that playground remains open to the public, and you can rent a space to have a party.
Okay.
But that's one of our busiest playgrounds. You know, it's right in the middle of town. A lot of people can walk to it. The thing that we love is people coming in and out of downtown Sylacauga are going to see this nice new thing that we're building for our kids. So it's really exciting.
Now let's get back to the soccer event that's coming up. And you talk about all these teams coming in. And I don't know if people fully realize how it can showcase our entire city.
That's something we're really excited about. We have a great partnership with Sylacauga High School. We're able to use some of their facilities. They use some of our equipment. We're actually teaming up with the soccer team, and this is going to be a fundraiser for them. They're going to receive all the gate money that's coming to this event, and they're going to run concessions, and in turn, we get to use their beautiful facility that they've done over there. Starting tomorrow, we're lining the fields off. Hunter's already found the corners on each field. We'll have 5 fields out there. We got them spaced out. We've hosted there about 3 to 4 years ago, and it was a really great turnout for us. And the best thing about it is, you know, not only are we showcasing our beautiful high school, but you got to come through Main Street, Sylacauga to get there. You know, you're going to drive down Broadway and Pizza and Pint and Trailwares and all of our great stores. And they're going to finish up hungry, you know, right after lunch. So hopefully on their way back through town, you know, they're stopping and seeing our beautiful restaurants and hopefully hitting some of the stores.
So it starts early to late?
We start at 9 o'clock. People will start showing up at 7:30.
Yeah.
You know how some of those parents. And then our last game's scheduled to start at 1. There will be breaks in between where they'll have about an hour and a half break. So, you know, they'll sneak off to Jack's or La Costa or somewhere like that. So it's going to be a big day for us.
So what's up with the old pool? Understand pickleball is going to come in right there.
Pickleball's going there. You've heard it a million times.
Yep.
The fastest growing sport in America. We finally got with engineers yesterday. So when you fill in this massive void in the ground, there's a way that has to be done. We got with engineers actually yesterday, and we're hopefully that the council passes the approval for them Tuesday. As soon as they do, we're tearing out concrete. We got to put aggregate in there in 6-inch layers to fill that pool up, and the engineers will be out there actually making sure it's compacted to how it needs to be, because 8 pickleball courts and an outdoor basketball court, it's just a concrete slab, right? But really big concrete slab. So you don't want anything settling under that would crack the concrete. And we've got preliminary drawings for it. We're trying to be extremely budget friendly because, as you may know, like the bond that was approved was for the new rec center.
Right.
And this was kind of, hey, we're going to do this too. So there was no additional monies that was approved to do this pickleball court and basketball court. So Reed Calfee, if you know Reed, probably the hardest working man in Sylacauga, one of the best people you'll ever meet. He's agreed to help us to tear down the building and prepare the site to give them a nice fresh concrete pad. and then we'll go in there, and everything else will have to go through the state bid process, because obviously it's going to be over $55,000. But Reed's probably saving us $300,000 to $400,000 just on filling in the pool, tearing down the building, and preparing.
That's fantastic.
He's an amazing guy, and the partnerships, just like with the school system and the partnership with the street system. I mean, when we all work together, we have very qualified people.
So, do we have a time frame as to when we'd like to have this finished?
So that, it feels like there's been this long hesitation, and now it seems like everything's coming in quick. Playground starts hopefully 2 weeks, so they'll be done. I would love to see that thing open by Thanksgiving. They want to have the pickleball/basketball facility open by spring, so I'm saying March or April, right in time to start baseball. As far as the rec center, we were told 16 months when they signed the papers. We've done a lot of preliminary discussion. I've went out and researched pools and types
Out of time. Appreciate you coming
Yes, sir.
this morning.